Fishers. Okay, so I was just talking to somebody yesterday, an owner actually. If you're new to the Fishers area, you might not have heard, but the local government is trying to institute a 10% cap on rentals here in the Fishers area. So whether they get that passed or not, it is in motion. A lot of people do expect it to pass. But the person I was talking to yesterday loves the Fishers market, even has the exact same understanding of the market. And I was like, have you been watching our market reports? Because his opinion on the market was exactly what we've been reporting, where Fishers historically is a really good market because there's really good quality applicants in that market. But the days on market really haven't been, they've been on the higher end of all these suburb markets that we're kind of reporting on. So anyway, his understanding of the market kind of surprised me, right? He's not a realtor, he's just an investor in the market. But anyway, he was trying to pick up as many properties in the Fishers area as he
Mm.
possibly could before that 10% gets instituted. So I mean, he's even paying, higher than he typically would for an investment property. He didn't really care. He's just trying to pick up as many as he possibly can. And he is going to park those here with Red Door, but there's no surprise to that, right? I mean, if you're a smart investor, you're going to put them with Red Door. Uh, Go ahead.
Well, it's a great idea. I mean, if that gets passed, I mean that is an absolute cap on your inventory. I mean,
Yes,
you
your
can only
competition.
have X amount of
Yes.
rentals available. And so, I mean, wow, that's if you're an owner and you already own those homes, that is an amazing thing. So, I mean, it's kind of a I don't know, a double-edged sword or whatever you want to call it. But if you own a bunch of homes of Fishers, you're probably praying for that thing to get passed. You know?
Absolutely. So I'm just curious. I saw your hand go up. Did you have somebody walk in the room?
Yeah,
I have,
my
yeah.
daughter tried to come in here. Yeah, of
I
course she
just
did.
did a minute ago. Sailor tried to walk in. I'm like, out, out. Yeah. So there you go. Okay, yeah, you can tell we're professionals, and we want to keep it professional the whole time. So I'm going to get into this market report, but that's what's happening in February, are in the Fishers market. So if you enjoy Fishers as a market, which I do, I mean, I know I've bashed Fishers only because the numbers kind of make it hard for an active, certainly a new active investor. But Fishers is just a solid market because good quality applicants, low vacancy, and certainly low turnover costs are exactly what you're going to find here in the Fishers area. So here we go. Here's the data. Number of active homes currently in the market is at 75, which is down from last month, which was at 86, which indicates a month over month down from almost 13%, but 12 and three quarter of a percent as far as active homes. Average rental price at 2250, which is up just over 7% month over month, and still up year over year. Average days on market is at 47, which is completely unchanged from the prior month. We're at 47, almost identical to where we are for the Indianapolis market, which is not typically something you see in Fishers. Typically, it's a higher average days on market, at least for the last 12 months. It has been. Average price per square foot up almost 2% year over year, or excuse me, month over month. Now, here's the surprising thing is if you get the sneak peek. Now, I want to remind everybody that we pull this data, the March, the sneak peek into March there is very early data, and that could very easily change by the time we report on March's numbers. But it's hard not to look at that slope because it's
Yep.
there. Um,
Yep.
so we have the incline as we get into February, which that's what we're reporting on. That's why we're up 2250, up just over 7%. But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in March. Seasonality is a major factor for real estate in general, and it's no different for the rental side. So we'll see if it continues to tick up on your single family homes. As far as apartments and condos, now I'm going to skip back up. I'm going to get away from the graphs, go back up to the apartments there. So Fishers isn't really known for an apartment community, but you have 17 active apartments currently on the market, averaging at 1698 as your average rental rate, at $1.36 for your average square foot. And now condos, 15 active condos on the market, which is lower than I would have expected, to be honest with you. It's 2288, which is higher than your single family home average rental
Yeah.
price. 59 days on the market and $1.20 per square foot. So you're getting a little bit more per square foot if you're looking at condos, which is what you're going to need because a lot of those condos are going to have higher HOA dues right along with them.
Yeah.
And then you're going to see the graphs there below. And just a reminder, as we throw these graphics up on all of our social media channels, they're listed at the bottom of these graphics. You're going to see a sweet little graphic where we compile your average rental price for single family homes all in one nice and neat graphic, where you can consume all that all in one nice, neat graphic. So, Mike, anything to report here on the Fishers rental data?
No, not too much. Honestly, I was just going to make a mention to just make sure you guys stay tuned to our channels and to our socials because we will be following that the Fishers story for the rental cap, and we'll be talking about it and dissecting it and letting you guys know if it does pass. I think if I remember correctly, there is currently a grandfather clause in there. So if you have a rental home currently, it would be grandfathered in. It doesn't transfer to a new owner. But anyway, we'll discuss all of that as it does unfold. If it does pass, we'll kind of be sounding the alarm bells and saying, hey, it might be time to pick up some homes at Fishers because your competition is going to be limited. So anyway, just stay tuned for more info on that as that unfolds.
Yeah, yeah. And that'll be interesting on the sales slides as we continue to follow that because I would imagine as that news has come out, it's had the opposite effect for at least the short term, right? Because I know this investor isn't alone, and I know that American Homes for Rent and Progress, all these major rental companies, I'm sure they have the same idea. They're probably scooping up everything they can as quickly as they can. It's like a
Yep.
good portion of the homes and Fishers could be rentals by the time they get that thing passed.
Well, it might affect the sales data. We'll have to watch that over the next couple of months too, you know?
Yeah, it's gonna drive up prices, right?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
I know. That's the same thing that they were trying to avoid in the first place. All right, here's your sales data for the Fishers market. Average days on market for a property on the sales market here in Fishers is at 45, which last month we were at 54. So we're down. Homes are moving a little bit quicker here in the Fishers area. Average price per square foot, $183 per square foot, which is up year over year, down just over a 0.5% month over month. Average sales price at 366, which is up another 6%. And keep in mind that is the investor point of view that we use. So any home that is sold under the $500,000 price point is included in there. So investor point of view. And homes sold, wow, up 33% month over month. That is huge. Up 30% year over year. Wow, that is huge. So 68 homes sold at this point, February 2025. That's
That's
crazy. Average
wild.
sales price over time. Yeah, here, let me just mention traffic here, Mike, and I'll let you comment on that however you would. But that's hard to swallow. I mean, that seems like a major increase.
Yeah.
Um, and so average sales price over time, we're ticking up. You look at that slope, which seems pretty consistent, or we're just a little bit early, considering where we were last year. So that graph is going to be awesome to follow as we continue. And then don't disregard the graph there in the bottom right hand corner, which is an awesome little graph. It tells you exactly how many homes have been sold over the past year in exactly what price bracket in
Hmm.
that investor point of view. So a really cool little graph that we came up with for everyone, really by request. But there it is. Mike, what do you have to say about any of that?
I mean, Fishers has always been such a strong market. I think we're going to see prices continue to go up here. Um, I like it as a market. It's a good fundamental market. On that graph on the right, I think I've said this before, but I really like that graph because you can see like there are even homes under $200,000 in Fishers. I mean, not a lot of them. There's 7 sold in the last year, so they're probably a really small condo or a fixer upper or something. But they do exist. And then there's 30
Yeah.
that sold in the 2 to 250. So I mean, they're probably going to be small or condos or something like that, but they are available. You look in there and say, oh, the average sales price is 366. That's a lot. What? Well, there's still like, I mean, even under 300, there's almost 200 homes that sold under 300,000. So anyway, I like that graphic for that point of view. You can see kind of where everything lies.
Yeah, it's a really good point. Exactly. Yeah. So if you still want to get in the Fishers market, but you only have 250 to 300 to spend,
It's
not
doable.
366, it is absolutely doable. Yes, you just need to
Yep.
make sure that you're connected with that your group is an experienced real estate agent that you're working with that can hopefully help you locate a property in that price. And if you need help connecting and putting your team together, reach out. I'm happy to assist. We have everything from lenders to real estate agents, experience with working with investors. Reach out. Happy to be part of that team and help you build that team right along the way.
Yep.
Okay. I think that wraps up Fishers. Let's jump into our next market report.